Hey guys, in this video we're looking at Christmas Carol, focusing specifically on Stave 1 to do with Marley's ghost. So Stave 1 introduces Scrooge as a symbol of greed and isolation. Dickens establishes the moral problem of the novella and sets up the warning that selfishness has consequences. So let's look at a quick summary. Stave 1 begins by establishing that Marley is dead. This is important because it sets up the supernatural element. Scrooge is shown as bitter, isolated, and obsessed with money, and he rejects charity collectors and mocks Christmas. That night, Marley's ghost appears, bound in chains, warning Scrooge that he will suffer the same fate unless he changes. Key quote 1 from Stave 1 says, "Solitary as an oyster." Here, Dickens uses a simile to compare Scrooge to an oyster. This suggests that he's closed off and emotionally guarded. However, oysters contain pearls, and this implies that Scrooge has hidden potential for goodness, foreshadowing his transformation. Key quote 2 says, "hard and sharp as flint." The metaphor of flint suggests Scrooge is emotionally hard and capable of causing pain. Flint creates sparks when struck, which may symbolize the potential for change, and Dickens presents him as harsh but not beyond redemption. Key quote 3 is, "Are there no prisons?" This rhetorical question reflects real Victorian attitudes towards poverty. Scrooge implies that the poor should rely on workhouses rather than charity, and Dickens uses this to criticise the lack of compassion amongst the wealthy. Key quote 4 is, "Mankind was my business." Marley's statement reveals Dickens' central message that business should not be about profit but about caring for others, and the abstract noun mankind suggests universal responsibility. Themes in Stave 1 are as follows. So Stave 1 introduces isolation through Scrooge's emotional coldness. Greed dominates his character. Social responsibility is raised through the charity collectors. Consequences appear through Marley's suffering. And redemption is foreshadowed through the promise of the three spirits. So let's look at this through a grade 9 interpretation. So at a higher level, Scrooge can be interpreted not just as an individual, but as a symbol of Victorian capitalist views. Dickens exaggerates his cruelty to criticise a society that prioritises profit over people. The supernatural element suggests that moral justice exists beyond economic systems. So let's look at an exam style paragraph model. So how does Dickens present Scrooge in Stave 1? And our answer is as follows. In Stave 1, Dickens presents Scrooge as emotionally isolated and morally flawed. The simile, solitary as an oyster, suggests that Scrooge has deliberately closed himself off from society, reinforcing the theme of isolation. However, the image of the oyster also implies hidden potential, foreshadowing his later transformation. Furthermore, Dickens describes him as hard and sharp as flint, emphasizing his harshness and capacity to wound others emotionally. Through these descriptions, Dickens criticizes selfish Victorian attitudes and prepares the reader for Scrooge's moral journey. So, why Stave 1 matters? So, Stave 1 is crucial because it establishes the moral problem of the novella. Without Scrooge's extreme selfishness, the transformation would not feel powerful, and Dickens carefully constructs his opening to make the redemption believable and satisfying.